UFC Kansas City. This is the official betting video. How we doing, everybody? My name is Young Pasty, aka the White Boy Wonder, and I'm here today to give you all of my official bets for UFC KC. I got 4 bangers coming your way. You know we got the parlay section, so we'll go over all those parlays from small odds to big odds. I got you guys covered. My lean section, round props, fighters that I like, method of victory props, all plays I'm considering, and then lastly, my stay away, so bets and plays I recommend you don't put your hard-earned money on. Now, as we always do on this channel, I got a recap last week, well actually 2 weeks ago now. We had a little week off. UFC 314, I'll pull the results up now. I'll get the cat out of the bag, out of the hat. I don't know what the saying is. I'll just say it right up front right now. Sean Woodson fight really pissed me off. Terrible stoppage. He was literally on his way up and still there mentally and physically and could have finished the fight. And then secondly, they rub salt in the wound and say Dan Ige was up 2 rounds to none. On all the judges' scorecards. So, I mean, you know, sometimes just things just don't go your way. It looks like the refs and the judges are against you. I'm not saying they were, but it kind of dang looks like it. You know what I mean? But bet number 2, Paddy Pimblett taking care of business. Bet number 3, the 3-pick parlay has hit 4 weeks in a row now. Let's go. We're going to make it number 5 this week. You know how we do. And then bet number 4 and 5, Diego Lopez got outclassed by Volk. Had a couple moments, but didn't have enough time to work with him. And then Cedricus Dumas just, you know, dropped the ball. That's all I can say about that. He did nothing that I expected. It was a bad fight there. Now, we end the week minus 1.551 units. After everything is said and done, you know, not too bad of a loss. We take it to the chin, but we move on to UFC Kansas City. Now, if you're new to the channel, come on now. Click that subscribe button, like the video, comment down there. Support goes a long way. And then secondly, my Patreon is free. Links in the description. Go check it out. That's where I put all my bets in when I place them. Okay, so you can get the odds when they're good. You know, you'll see it today. A lot of odds are swaying in the opposite way like crazy, and we'll go over it. So, but let's get into it, guys. UFC Kansas City. These are the official bets. Bet number 1, and we sort these by confidence. Okay, so bet number 1 is always my most confident play of the week. We got a 2-pick parlay. We got Randy Brown and Damon Blackshear. Minus 105. We are putting 2 units on it. Yes, 2 units. A 2-unit slapper is what I call it. Now, the odds are currently sitting at minus 147. Still a playable number. And again, that's why I say subscribe to the Patreon. Because when I put it in, you know, Saturday last week, it was sitting at minus 105. Dang near even money. Anyway, now, Randy Brown going to take care of business versus Nicolas Dalby. He's gone up against much better competition in his UFC tenure. He has a length and reach advantage. The striking, I think, is much better than Nicolas Dalby. Now, I'll give Nicolas Dalby credit. Nicolas Dalby. He has great cardio, and he's a dog, and he will fight all 3 rounds, and he will fight for your money. But I think Randy Brown will be able to keep the distance in this large octagon and take care of business. Okay, so Randy Brown, first leg. Second leg, Damon Blackshear. I mean, the momentum on this guy is crazy, coming off of 2 submissions in a row, I believe. I know he had one versus Cody Gibson, right? Who was the other person? Looking at it right now. Cody Stammen. Yeah, so coming off 2 great submissions. Damon Blackshear has looked great. Now, honestly, this fight versus Alatengheili, it kind of looks like he's stepping down in competition, right? Or at least kind of staying, you know, at the flat line there with Cody Gibson. But he should be able to take care of business, man. He's better in all facets of fighting than Alatengheili is, okay? Striking better, has the reach advantage and taller, much more stronger, has great submissions, great takedown defense, great takedowns, great fence work. I mean, Alatengheili is just going to get outclassed here, man. I mean, good luck to you, Alatengheili. Good luck to you, but this is just not your fight. So, 2-pick parlay, most confident bet of the week. Randy Brown and Damon Blackshear, minus 105. We are putting 2 units on it. Let's go. Bet number 2. We are going with Abus Magomedov, the underdog, plus 132 we are putting 1 unit on it. It's currently sitting at plus 114. Now, I said it in my picks video, Abus Magomedov is going to be able to weather the storm of Michel Periera and ultimately take care of business the second and the third round. I think Abus Magomedov gets this done by decision. Now, everyone's worried about the gas tank of honestly both of them. Me personally, Michel Pereira's side is, his gas tank has looked atrocious to me. Yes, everyone's going to give Abus shit for his gas tank for Sean Strickland, but he's shown improvements every single fight in his cardio, and I think he's going to be able to, again, he might be able to, he might drop the first round. Look, is the knockout a possibility for Michel Pereira? Yeah, this dude's a freaking wild man in the octagon, okay? Doing flips and spins and crazy shit, like unorthodox, wild striking and wrestling. He's a crazy guy in there, man. But he exerts a lot of energy. And we saw that against, especially in the Fluffy fight, he got completely exposed with his cardio. So, again, Abus Magomedov is going to be able to weather that storm of Michel Pereira in the first round, take care of business second and third round, might be able to even get a late third round knockout. But ultimately, I think he gets it done by decision. Abus Magomedov, plus 132. We are putting 1 unit on it. Again, it's currently sitting at plus 114. Some places still, maybe like plus 120. So, again, still underdog status and still a playable number. But we move on to bet number 3. Yes, bet number 3, the 3-pick parlay. We put 3 plays together to try and get a good playable number. Now, this has hit 4 weeks straight. So let's make it week number 5 here. Okay, bet number 3, the 3-pick parlay of the week. Let's go. Leg number 1, we got Evan Elder. Leg number 2, we got Jaqueline Amorim. And leg number 3, we have the over 1.5 rounds in the Randy Brown versus Nicolas Dalby fight. We are putting 1 unit on it. It's sitting at plus 108. Yo, I was sitting and waiting for the alternate line on the Randy Brown versus Nicolas Dalby fight. I was just sitting there waiting. And as I was waiting, the Jaqueline Amorim leg just kept going up and up and up and up. And yeah, she's like minus 800, minus 900 now. She's a solid leg and a solid pick. She's going to get the job done. Okay, she's going to get the job done. But leg number 1, Evan Elder. Going up against this short notice, I don't know about this guy, Gage Young. He has, some kind of flashy knockouts against some scrubs in, his fights prior to the UFC. Went 3 rounds with Killian Salkill in Dana White Contender Series, ultimately lost. Got outclassed. With Evan Elder's experience in the UFC, 4 fights in the UFC, Gage Young is coming off of, it's a week's notice for this fight. And man, I don't know why the odds keep going lower and lower and lower for Evan Elder. I think this is a better matchup for him than his last opponent. Evan Elder is a solid fighter, one of my favorite fighters. Great striking, powerful, strong. He won that Nazim Sadikov fight. Whatever you guys want to say, yeah, there was a doctor stoppage technically. I didn't really think the cut was too terribly that bad. I think he could have finished the fight at least took a couple more hits until it got a little bit worse. But, he's looked pretty good in his UFC fights. And I think people are counting him out. I think everyone's seeing these flashy, knockouts from Gage Young. And yes, they're scary, but they're against people that aren't really that good. And we've seen him in his fights kind of get pieced up a little bit too. So, yeah, Evan Elder, solid leg. Second leg, Jaqueline Amorim. Polyana, Viana, dude. Her takedown defense is atrocious. It is awful. What does Jaqueline Amorim do? She gets takedowns and submits people, and that's what's bound to happen. It's going to happen quick. So Jaqueline Amorim, solid leg. And then lastly, the over 1.5 rounds for the Randy Brown and Nicolas Dalby fight. Nicolas Dalby never been finished. Randy Brown, in the times he has been finished, which is, over 5 years ago, the fight has at least gone over 1.5 rounds. So, and honestly, Nicolas Dalby always drops the first round. If anything, Dalby would maybe get a potential finish in the third round. I don't see that happening though. Okay, and yes, Nicolas Dalby has good cardio. I think that Randy Brown's going to win the first 2. Potentially might drop the third if he gets a little bit tired from all his movement in the octagon. But it's going to go at least over 1.5 rounds. Now, again, put all 3 of those together. We are sitting at plus 108. Hey, we got even money here. 1 unit on it. It is the 3-pick parlay of the week. It has hit 4 weeks in a row. Let's make it week number 5. And we move on to bet number 4, the last official bet for UFC KC. We got the future. We got Ian Machado Garry, minus 125. We are putting 1 unit on it. This was tough for me to come to pick-wise, but after I came to terms with my pick, I'm more confident in it and ultimately put the bet in. But as you see, it's bet number 4 here. I've never picked or bet against either of these guys. Okay? I mean, gosh, Carlos Prates is one of the fighting nerds. But Ian Machado Garry, dog, is the more well-rounded fighter in this situation here. I mean, Carlos Prates, man, be drinking and smoking all the time, smoking all these cigarettes. You think that's really good for his cardio? You think that's good in round 4 or 5, right? I think Ian Machado Garry, I mean, he's been up against some killers. He's not going to get knocked out, in my opinion. What's Carlos Prates doing? He's getting knockouts. So is he going to be able to dig deep in round 4 or 5 like we've seen Ian Machado Garry do versus Shavkat? Hey, put Shavkat up against Carlos Prates. How does that look? Right? Ian Machado went 5 with Shavkat. So I have full faith in Ian Garry. He's going to get the job done here. Full 5 rounds. I think he gets it done by decision, or honestly a 4th or 5th round KO. That is a high possibility there. So Ian Garry with confidence, minus 125. We are putting 1 unit on it. Yes, sir. And those are the official bets for UFC Kansas City. I wonder if Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelce, we'll see a Kansas City Chief there. I bet you that we will. Probably see actually all of them. But we move on to our parlay section. Everybody's favorite section, right? So this week, we'll go from the smallest odds to the largest odds. I got 5 great parlays for you this week. Parlay number 1. This is kind of like an alternate to my official bet for bet number 3. Some heavy favorites. You put them all together to get a good number here. So I got Zhang Mingyang. We got Ikram Aliskerov and Matt Schnell. Put all 3 of those together. It's sitting at plus 101. So even money. So, hey, you don't like bet number 3 of mine? Here's another alternate to it. So that's a kind of a safer play at plus 101, even money. Zhang Mingyang going to take care of business with Anthony Smith. Come on now, KO inbound. Same thing with Ikram. And then Matt Schnell, I think he'll take care of business with Jimmy Flick. Everyone's saying Jimmy Flick by submission. I don't see that. So put all 3 of those together, plus 101. That's parlay number 1. We move up to some larger odds here in parlay number 2. 3 fighters that I have pretty good confidence in that I picked to win fights. And they're at a pretty good number. And I say this for all of my parlay section. For every single leg of all of these parlays, I love them individually too. Okay? And a lot of times you'll see, maybe sometimes the parlays 2 out of the 3 legs hit, 3 out of the 4 legs hit. That means a lot. I'm right on a lot of the calls, but you need all the hit. Obviously you need all of the legs to hit in a parlay. But I like them individually. So if you look at one of these legs, you're like, dang, I really like that leg. Put it in individually. Or maybe just take a leg out that you don't like. You know what I mean? It's up to you. These are just the parlays that I got. So parlay number 2, after a long-winded explanation there. We got Chris Gutierrez. We have Roberto Romero. And we have David Onama. All 3 of those together, it's sitting at plus 388. All solid fighters. They're all under minus 200. I think all these guys get the job done, right? And again, maybe, David Onama is sitting at like minus 175. That's a little bit on the, wider end of odds for a straight up single play. But Chris Gutierrez and Roberto Romero, they're sitting at like minus 142 each. So, I think all 3 of these fighters get the job done at plus 388. And we move on to parlay number 3. Okay, we get a little bit juicier. This one's sitting at plus 655. Okay. We got a method of victory parlay. So first leg, we have Randy Brown decision, plus 100. Leg number 2, we have Amorim sub, minus 165. And leg number 3, we have Blackshear KO/sub, You want to call it inside the distance. Plus 135. Okay, all 3 legs sitting at plus 655. We went over the Randy Brown earlier. I think he goes all 3 rounds with Nicolas Dalby. The Amorim sub, Polyana's takedown defense and submission defense sucks. Amorim's going to get the job easy. It's going to kind of be the same thing. I don't know, what was it? Diane Barbosa a few weeks ago? Kind of a replica of that fight. And then lastly, the Blackshear KO / sub. I mean, he's going to get the job done against Alatengheili. He's been on a submission roll, all right? So submission looks like the call, but with the T-Rex kind of build and frame of Alatengheili, I don't know if the submission may be there or not. So KO's live too. We saw the flying knee that he had there about a year or 2 ago back. So this kind of covers all aspects of a finish. You know what I mean? So Blackshear KO / sub plus 135. Yeah, this is one of my favorite parlays of the week. Actually, I think all 3 of these are bound to happen. So, and again, I like them all individually too. Parlay number 4. Getting a little bit juicier with the odds, okay? We're at plus 1450 on this one, okay? 14 to 1, almost 15 to 1. First leg, second leg, third leg, they're all decisions, okay? We call this the decision parlay. Evan Elder by decision, minus 125. David Onama by decision, plus 165. And Ian Garry by decision, plus 225. All sitting at plus 1450. Evan Elder going up against that Gage Young. He is a tough guy. For me, it's either a decision or a late knockout. I'm kind of giving Gage Young credit here because he went 3 rounds with Killian. So Evan Elder by decision. David Onama by decision. All his fights really kind of come that way. I mean, except the Gabriel Santos fight. But he went 3 rounds with Roberto Romero. You know what I mean? Ultimately beat the crap out of him. Roberto Romero is one of those tough Mexicans with a great chin. So, I think he gets the job done by decision versus Giga. And then lastly, Ian Garry by decision. I think he takes Carlos Prates all 5 rounds. Okay, Prates may get a nice shot here or 2 there, but Ian Garry's got a good chin, and ultimately, I think he's not going to be able to find that distance too well. Get real frustrated in the octagon there. Maybe do some things that leave him exposed and make some mistakes that Ian Garry will take advantage of. Dang, he's a little bit... Ian Garry a little bit younger than Carlos Prates too, right? 4 years younger too. So, anyway, why am I saying that? He has better cardio than Carlos Prates, and Carlos Prates over there smoking cigs. But yeah, plus 225 for the Ian Garry decision. All 3 of those legs sitting at plus 1450. Okay. And we move on to parlay number 5, the juiciest parlay I got for you guys. Again, I like all these legs individually too. This one is sitting at plus 2,388. Leg number 1, we got Abus Magomedov decision, plus 400. Leg number 2, we have Malcolm Wellmaker money line, minus 120. Leg number 3, we have Gutierrez decision, plus 100. And leg number 4, Zhang Mingyang KO, minus 280. Put all 4 of these together, we're sitting at plus 2,388. The juiciest parlay of the week. One or more of these parlays is going to hit for you guys. Okay, I'm super excited. I'm super confident for all of these legs in every single parlay I got. So, yeah, parlay number 5 plus 2,388. Be great to hit one of these super big parlays. But that's the parlay section. That's what I got for you guys. Mix and match any of the legs that you like. Take a leg out if you don't like it, but that's what I got for the parlays. Again, don't get this confused with the official bets section. The parlays aren't tracked. These are just for fun. And, it's up to you if you want to put them in or not. We move on to my leans section. Okay, so these are bets and plays I'm considering, but I don't have official money on yet. Every week we go over some fighter money lines that I like, some round props that I like, and some method of victory props that I like. Take a little sip of pop and move on. First, some fighter money lines that I like. All these legs were found all these fighters were found in my parlay section too. So, first, Malcolm Wellmaker sitting at minus 120. I think this is a great straight up individual play. I think he's being counted out. I think he's more hungry. Dude's working 40 hours a week, trying to make it into the UFC, wins his Dana White Contender Series fight. He's looking to get the fight of the night bonus so he can quit his his 9 to 5. I mean, he wants it. He's hungry, and he looks pretty good in the octagon too. Has great knockout power. Is a pretty good striker. Mixes in the wrestling if he needs to. Going up against Cameron Saaiman, who has not looked good in the past two, getting absolutely obliterated by Peyton Talbot, and then, prospect killed by Christian Rodriguez. So I got Malcolm Wellmaker, minus 120. I think that's a great lean. That might even end up on one of my official bets, man. Or women's. So Malcolm Wellmaker, minus 120. Next, David Onama, minus 175. I think he gets the job done versus Giga. Chikadze. I think Giga Chikadze is just a tad bit older at this time. I think he has great kicks and a good jab, but David Onama has he's quicker, he's speedier, has good striking. Can pull himself out of sus situations and end up getting wins somehow. So I got David Onama. And then next we have Roberto Romero, minus 142. Tough Mexican, great chin, good striking, heavy kicks. Going up against, Timothy Cuamba, who I don't like. I'm not really a fan of. He has not looked good in his UFC tenure. Very hittable. Has this little bouncy movement. I'm just not a fan of Timothy Cuamba. I don't like his style. I don't like his game. Two young guys going at it. Roberto Romero's going to get the best of him because he has that dog mentality. He's gritty. He's tough. And he's got that Mexican chin. Okay, so he'll eat a few shots to get in. He's going to beat up the leg of Timothy Cuamba, find his shots up top. Lastly, Chris Gutierrez sitting at minus 142. He's going to put on a veteran class, kind of boring fight versus John Castaneda. John Castaneda's path to victory is to make it gritty, dirty, and move forward, and don't allow Chris Gutierrez to do this little dancing around the octagon and kicks and stuff. Chris Gutierrez should get the job done. Minus 142, a great individual play. Next are some round props that I like. First is the over 3.5 rounds for the Ian Garry versus Prates fight, sitting at minus 125. I think this fight goes all 5 rounds. This gives you a little wiggle room in case either of them get a later round finish over 3.5 rounds. The over 2.5 rounds is sitting at minus 175, so that's still a playable number 2. The over 2.5 rounds on the Chris Gutierrez-John Castaneda fight, that's sitting at minus 375. It's juiced to heck, but it is bound to happen. Neither of those guys are going to get a finish on each other. The under 2.5 rounds for the Blackshear and Alatengheili fight, sitting at plus 130. Now, one of the legs in my parlay was, Blackshear inside the distance. That's at plus 135. That gets him that extra, half round in the third round there, but I think a finish is bound to happen even earlier than that, to be honest with you. And you're getting plus money on it at plus 130. Maybe Alatengheili pulls off something crazy. It covers you on the other end, too. So plus 130 for that. And lastly, the under 2.5 rounds for the Jaqueline Amorim and Polyana Viana fight, minus 250. Dude, Jaqueline Amorim's going to take care of business easily and quickly versus Viana. Submission incoming. Minus 250. I know it's juice, but it's bound to happen. So those are all the round props that I like, and we'll move on to the method of victory props that I like. You've probably seen a lot of these in the parlay section. First is the Ian Garry decision, plus 225. I also like the KO sitting at plus 350. Onama decision at plus 165. The Abus decision at plus 400. KO at plus 350. Randy Brown, decision, plus 100. This one is the most juiciest out of all of them, and I like it. Evan Elder KO, plus 500. Okay, so I think that's a great leg. Not a great leg. I think that's a great prop there, great value. I think that in the second or third round, he could find the shot. Gutierrez decision, plus 100. The Randy Brown, Gutierrez decision, both of those guys are, it's bound to get to decision, and that's their projected method victory. That's how it's going to happen. So to lower your number on Chris Gutierrez and Randy Brown, you can take them by decision at plus 100. Demond inside the distance, aka KO/sub, sitting at plus 135. And then lastly, the Jaqueline Amorim sub sitting at minus 165. So those are all the method of victory props that I like. Most of them at plus money. Okay. Oh, at least over, besides the Randy Brown and Demond, most of them sitting at over 2 or 3 to 1 odds. So I think a lot of these are very likely. So again, these are leans, not official plays that I've put in. Stay tuned on the video, because if I put an official play in, I'll let you know here in the comments. And then secondly, gotta check out the Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon. I put all my official bets in there too. So if something happens, I put a bet in last minute or something like that. That's where I'll put it. So lastly, we move on to my stay away. So these are bets and plays I recommend you don't put your hard-earned money on. First are the round props on the Schnell versus Flick fight. I mean, if you're betting on the round props on this fight, that's some degenerate-ish, right? I mean, a finish could happen. A finish could not happen. It's just like something that I don't really have a good look or a good call on, so I'm staying away from it. Same thing with the method of victory props on that fight too. Not really a fan of those either. The method of victory props on the Romero versus Cuamba fight, I think it goes decision, but I don't know. I mean, with two young guys going at it like this, they're hungry, they're trying to stay in the UFC, anything could happen. So it's just something I'm staying away from. Lastly, the Ikram round props and the Abus round props. First with the Ikram round props, a KO is bound to happen. It's just how tough is Andre Muniz. And then secondly, the Abus round props. I think it goes long, right? I think it goes the distance, but I mean, the possibility of a Michel KO, or a mid second round Abus finish. I mean, those are possibilities too. So it's just like, with so many possibilities in the air, something I'm avoiding. So the Abus Magomedov and Michel Periera round props I'm staying away from. And that's it, guys. I gave you my official bets, 4 bangers. I gave you all the parlays. We went over my leans and my stayaways. If you've made it this far, you got to click that subscribe button. Throw a comment down there. Like the video. Support goes a long way. Check out the Patreon. Links in the description. It is free. That's where I put all my bets in when I place them. You can see the odds at the time that I put the bet in, because they always sway the opposite way come Wednesday here for the video, and then come fight night. I mean, you'll see it. They already are going crazy this week. They're going to get even crazier. So, Young Pasty out. Let's have a good week for UFC KC. Bye-bye.